So I'm driving home from Venice back to Pensacola. I've got to get in a car, a rental car, and go to Fort Hood tomorrow, so I had to come home. Not that I don't like my family anyway, my dogs, my kid, my wife, you know. But at any rate, I usually take the Perry exit off of 75 because you can drive 75. You can drive 75 to I-10, but it's really not pretty. There is nothing to see. But if you take the Perry exit,
proceed about 2 miles to East Jefferson Street.
Okay. Anyway, if you take that Perry exit, the first town you come up on is Brooksville. And it's a pretty neat little town. I'll do a little filming. There's some good restaurants there. There's some little shops and stuff. It's a little off the beaten path. But like I said, it's probably better to go the road less traveled. There's the welcome to Brooksville sign. So I may stop just for a second, but for the most part, I'm just gonna film coming in here. Next town up will be Homosassa Springs. For anybody that's been there before. Whoa. Wow. Look at these guys standing out here in the middle of this road. Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by those birds crossing the road. Next town, about 10 miles from here, is Homosassa Springs. And that used to be the home of the manatees. I know me and my wife used to go there about once every year or so. Rolling on towards Homosassa, we got about 5 more miles. But out here it's starting to get, you know, where you've got little shops and stuff and banks, and you can see this bike trail off to my right. And it's nice. It goes for a lot of miles. And as a matter of fact, on this whole route, there are numerous bike trails that run along the side of the road like this. Florida's good about it though. Got a lot of bike trails. As promised, this is the Homosassa Springs Wildlife State Park. And so they haven't shut it down. There is a restaurant in here. And I didn't think they would. There's just too many people that come here to see the manatees. As you can see, the parking lot's full, and it does tend to stay that way on the weekends. I don't know what this police tape is, but you can see the big manatee they got here on the sign. And then right behind this building is the water. So there's a canal running right back there behind those buildings. You take a little boat, it's a guided tour. This used to be the main route through here. Before I-10 and 75 got so popular. I mean, this was big business coming through here. Thus, you see in bigger cities along this route like Homosassa, it's 3 lanes on each side. But man, I'll tell you, once you get past this populated area, you'll see that, you know, there's whole towns that are just boarded up still. Not a lot of traffic through there. You see a lot of these old motels that have been redone, and some of them haven't. I'll try to focus on some of them. Airports have always been one of my things, and this airport right here on the edge of Homosassa, me and 2 of my buddies took an airplane apart, a Blanca, and brought it down here one time in an enclosed trailer from Pensacola. That was painful. It was painful to unload it too. Right here at this airport. Going this direction, Homosassa sort of merges into Crystal River, and me and my wife and Tig have come down there a couple times and went scalloping. You know, just, we could have brought our own boat, but instead we rented a guy who was a guide in his boat. He took us out. It was a hoot, man. Lots of thrift stores, even on a Sunday, that are open. So if you like that kind of stuff, you can spend a lot of time in antique stores and thrift stores going this route. Welcome to Crystal River, home of the manatee. So is Homosassa Springs. I'd say Crystal River is home of the scallop. That's not quite as interesting though. St. John's Tavern. It's pretty old. See, antique mall. We'll start picking up those motels I was talking about. Crystal River Motel, daily and weekly rates. Doesn't look to be very trafficked at all. few cars. But most of them, like I said, have been redone, and they're actually pretty nice. They're not crappy crack places or anything like that. Crystal River is just not that kind of place. And here in a minute, we'll start picking up what used to be a train track that ran along the right side of this road. We're not there yet, but we'll see some train depot buildings and stuff like that. And you'll be able to tell how it's raised and landscaped for a train track landscape. I'm sure there's a better word for that. Engineered. The berm is engineered to put a train track on top of. Now we're coming into Inglis. I-N-G-L-I-S. Not a lot here. With Lacucci Hotel. Got a breakfast and lunch place right there. Looks pretty cool. I forget what's next up. I think it's Chiefland, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of swampland off to the sides. If there ever was a place for the Florida skunk ape, which is the Florida Bigfoot, to live, this would definitely be the area. This whole area that I'm traveling is called the Nature Coast. I call it the armpit. Really pretty country out here though. You just gotta get to it. You can see off to the right, this is what I was talking about. You can see how it's sort of a berm built up over there where there used to be a train track ran along here. Okay, so I found a sort of a turnout here that wasn't somebody's driveway. I don't think it is anyway. But you can see, get sort of a sense of where the train tracks ran up here. You can see that I'm sort of a little bit of a built up hill or a berm. So the train ran for miles going along here. Wonder how long it must have took them to pull all these tracks up. It's beautiful. Think you could get eaten by an alligator back here? Something tells me there's no manatees in there. Maybe a bull shark. This is Gulf Hammock, which is not even a town. But I told you there's train tracks that used to run across the road over there. And prominently displayed right here is one of the trains that I'd assume ran on those railroad tracks. I'm not gonna read all that, but you can freeze frame it if you want to. Don't enter the fenced area. Pretty interesting. Wish I could get better shots of it. All right, so next up as far as towns, we're rolling into Chiefland right now. There's a little bit of a town here. Like I said, hurricanes and the highway has done a lot to take away business from this place. See, there's a lot of fallen down buildings, and you'll see boarded up buildings. Coming through downtown Chiefland. Barbecue Bills. That's good. Patty. See another one of the old motels. Some Manatee Springs Motel. Not a lot going on right there. Might not even be open. Another old motel. Just past one off the right. There's not a lot of cars in any of these places. Then again, summer's over, but they all look well maintained. They don't even look haunted. Don't look like crack houses. See more antiques right there. Over here on this side too. This is the Fanning Springs area, by the way. Other than a couple of bars and grills and a Dollar General and those antique stores, I haven't seen anything else here. Another old motel. We just passed the barbecue shack. I'm telling you, there's Fanning Springs State Park. So there's a state park for you to look at. Coming up on some water right here, entering Dixie County, and that's the Suwannee River. Everybody's heard that song. See some boat traffic out here. Old Town, en route to Cross City, 9 miles away. We'll see if I can get there. 9 miles, there's a lot of distractions in 9 miles. It seems like the train track has turned back into a bike trail. Like I said, Florida's really good about this, turning train tracks into paved over bike trails, and they'll go for miles and miles. All right, now we're rolling into Cross City. It's been quite a few miles since the last filming I did of that fitness trail, and it's still running. So that's pretty good. If you like to bicycle or even walk and jog, awesome. It just keeps going. Anyway, like I said, Cross City. I will film if there's anything interesting to see. Another remnant of the train track. This is Cross City. Looks like some kind of terminal, either a freight terminal or a people terminal, more than likely freight. We'll walk around here to the front of it. What would be the front if you're facing the train tracks here? Like I said, used to be a train track, now it's a fitness trail. You can see this thing just keeps on going for miles. Trying to find a plaque or something that would tell more about it. Pretty cool. I'd love to go inside. I'm sure there's just so much history with this thing. Right across the road from a Mexican restaurant. Again, it says Cross City on this side. Try to get a good picture of it without the traffic in the background. That's good. The Putnam Lodge. Pretty nice looking place. Pretty big. There's another old building, seems to butt right up to where the rail line used to run. All right, so now we're pulling into Perry. It's the old church. It's very cool. Me and my wife and kids stayed at that place one time. Back when it was doing a lot of business. It was nice. See, here's another motel with a campground behind it. They're all well maintained, but they aren't busy at all. This is Lamont, Florida, and this is the Aucilla River, A-U-C-I-L-L-A. Anyway, pretty river, really pretty clean too. And you can see the old train trestle over there. Not active anymore. There used to be a train depot in this town, but I venture to say it's probably not there. I'm going to include a picture of it. Out here in Skunk Ape territory again, and this train trestle is a little further off the beaten path than I thought it was, but I'm here, so I wanted to go get a little footage. Hope I don't walk up on a water moccasin or rattlesnake. One way or the other, it is pretty cool. You really got to watch it around that kind of stuff right there. That's where the snakes like to hang out. Look at that thing. How cool. Awesome. I know it's hard to tell a difference, but we've now departed the last road that we were on that goes down around the nature coast and what I said was the armpit. Now we're heading towards I-10. It's only about another 5 miles from here. And then we'll be on the boring track. We pick it up right around Tallahassee and I'll head towards Pensacola. Nothing to see there on that highway until you come to some rivers. But anyway, that would just sort of give you an idea of what's out there if you don't go on the beaten trail, come off of the mostly taken routes and go this way. There's a lot of stuff to see, and I only got a little bit of it. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I just didn't have time to stop at, but I promise I'm going to try to do it again. I'm going to pick out a couple of towns like Perry, Fanning Springs, and spend some actual time there, look up the history of the place, and find some of those landmarks. Anyway, we'll see you next time.